dad used to have a machine shop years and years ago, and he tried to get me in there, and I really didn't want much to do with it. And then I fell into this, and it's so vast in manufacturing that you can't learn everything. And I think that's what's cool about it. Because you go through so many jobs in life that there's so many jobs out there that you get so far and there's nothing else. In manufacturing, you can just open another door. And you can, basically you can take any route you want and there's a plethora of knowledge. I was looking for a CNC machine, and I had gone through a few different kinds, and the Sherline, some little rinky-dink Tinker Toy CNCs, and there's a few others out there that had a little higher speeds, but as the time went on, some of the companies just kind of faded away and disappeared, but Tormach, seemed strong, and looking at it, it was a rigid, robust type machine, and at the time it didn't have the tool changer, but at that time I was just looking for something that was going to be viable for what I was doing, and again, it just seemed like a machine that was affordable, and I was able to get it in my garage. What I do with my Tormach here, it's been a lot of prototyping and small stuff that I run through, and it's been sitting for a little while, so I haven't had the time to do a ton of playing with it, but it's coming back, and my time is freeing up, and I'm getting back into trying to come up with some small designs, some ideas, some work for friends and people that come and say, hey, can you make me this? And if I don't want to run up to the shop, if I don't have an open machine, it's great. I can come down here and it's open for me. It's my machine type of thing, The advantages for the Tormach versus some of the bigger machines right now that I see are the setup. We don't have some of the probing stuff where I work on the bigger machines, and the height offset gauges are just phenomenal on how quick you could set up tool trays and then load them into the machine afterwards and just type in your offsets and you're pretty much ready to go. I ended up getting a little Z-depth dial indicator, so I could just come down and hit zero on it instead of using that little piece of paper shim to bring it down and touch off. So there's a bunch of speed advantages of utilizing the CNC to get up and going, where you cut out a lot of time. Some of the prototyping that I had to do on here that was not a viable option to run any type of small production or larger production was some parts I made that were 18 inches by 12 inches by 2 inches thick aluminum. And I did the prototypes on a machine with some wood blanks and had to flip-flop the fixtures around to get all the sides of it. But once I had a viable option on the Tormach, then I was able to change the coding and put it in a smaller program, less operations, and run it on a production mill. Designing parts for motorcycles was a pretty big headache, but it turned out to be some cool stuff in the end. I mean, the end result was great, but the headaches going through with it were awful. The reason that I do the prototyping here is because this is always open. I never know if there's something going on at the shop that's the machine's booked, and up there work comes first. Their quantum stuff comes first, and if the machine's open, then I have the ability to go up and use it weeknights, weekends type of thing. But for the majority of it, it's scheduling, and scheduling on the machine here in the house is really easy. We've got some ideas that I'd like to expand on the house a little bit, give myself a little bigger area, because I would definitely like more than just the PCNC. I'd like to possibly get the lathe with the turret on it. And, you need a complement for a mill, you got to have a lathe. I would like to, obviously develop talents and a base of doing other things on the side besides, the daily job. Obviously, everybody would love to work for themselves and make a ton of money, but, we'll see how it goes, I guess. The coolest thing about creating this stuff and the designing things is taking a theory or an idea and then be able to place it in your hand. There's all these people that have ideas, oh, how to make this, make that, or if we could do this. Well, when you have the capabilities of all that, you can come here and just put something in there, write the coding for it, and be like, well, here's your idea. The headaches that go with it are usually dissipated by having that tangible object in your hand at the end, that end product. Like, yeah, I made this.